So we're going over 6-1 first. What's the first thing that we're doing here when we do our worksheet? What's the first thing we're doing? Who can tell me?
The heading.
Good. We're doing the heading. What goes into that heading, Mr. Risco? Say what?
The name of the company.
Good. Name of the company goes first. What's second?
Worksheet.
Good. Worksheet.
Month ended.
Okay, and for the month ended, whatever the month might be. What happens next? Who can tell me what happens next? Ryan McGrath, what happens next? You write all the account titles down here on the left-hand side for our business, and then what do we do? Let's see. Mr. Summit Vora, what do we do next?
Enter all the debits and credits.
Okay, we enter all the debits and the credits. Where are we getting these balances from? If we weren't doing like a problem where they're telling you, where would we get all these balances from?
The ledger.
Good, from the ledger. It's from the ledger. So we're going to take the balances in the ledger accounts, and we're going to put those debit balances in the debit accounts, in the debit column, and the credit balances in the credit column. Yes, Maddie?
We can't access the...
Yeah, it's not.
You can't? Okay. Okay, hold on just a minute. Okay. So we're going to enter the account titles. We're going to enter the debit and the credit amounts from the ledgers. What order are these accounts going in on the account titles? Let's see. Who? Matt. Mr. Irono. Sorry. What order are the accounts going in on the account titles column?
Assets are first.
Good.
Then liabilities.
Good.
Then owner's equity.
Good.
Then sales.
Perfect.
Then expenses.
Good. Okay. So first go our assets, then our liabilities, then our owner's equity, then our sales, and then our expenses. The assets, liabilities, and owner's equity all comprise which of the financial statements? The income statement or the balance sheet? Assets, liabilities, owner's equity, they go on income balance sheet. They go on the balance sheet. Sales and expenses, they go on income statement. Good. Okay. So let's see how this pans out if we show our answer. By this point, you guys already know, but... So we've got our heading. We know there's a worksheet. We know the period ending. We've got our assets, our liabilities, our owner's equity, our sales, and our expenses. What order are our assets going in? Let's see. Maddie.
Assets go in the order that they're on the ledger.
Okay, and what order does the ledger go in, Kira?
Liquidity.
Perfect. Excellent. The ledger goes in liquidity order. So it's always going to be cash first, then petty cash, then accounts receivable, then supplies, then any prepaids. How about your liabilities? What order? Wait. Oh, okay. Before that. Good. How quickly it's going to be repaid. And then if you have two in the same category, it's going to be alphabetical. Good. And then we have our owner's equity. Which goes first? Capital, drawing, or income summary? Capital first always, drawing second, and then income summary third. Then we have our sales. What order do our expenses go in? Alphabetical. Good, good, good. Okay, very good. So then we come along and we have our... Okay, we're going to move to the next problem. Good. Question?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, who's got a question first? Bobby, go ahead.
When I was doing it for the accounts receivable and payable, I didn't see the bottom come up where it's abbreviated ACCTS and then the names. So it just says accounts receivable and payable. They're in the right spot, but is there any way I can get points for that or no?
I did the same thing.
Me too.
Yeah. No, because what you should have done is you should have looked at your chart of accounts and you should have seen these account titles and put them in here.
Yeah, but like, alright, let's
Says
type in accounts receivable
It's
fully.
abbreviated.
It's abbreviated on the actual homework button.
Right. You need to know by this point in time that you're not going to have anything that's just labeled accounts receivable. Okay? Everything is going to have a label, and you should have been looking for the one that said the name of the account that was there. Okay? Other questions? Okay. So let's move on to problem number 2. Okay, so problem number 2, we're doing the adjusting entries. I'm going to hide the answer for the moment. Let's look at the question. So the question says we have supplies on hand of $250 and the value of the prepaid insurance is $750. And it says this is at the end of the period, at the end of June. So this balance that we have here in our asset for supplies on hand, we see that this asset says it's $690. When we actually did our count of our physical inventory, it said we had supplies on hand of $250. So what do we have to do to show how much supplies has been used up? We have to credit the difference or subtract it. So we're going to credit the supplies amount for how much? How much is it? $440. And what are we going to offset that with? A supplies expense for the same amount. We're going to debit it to show that we've expensed or used that up. Okay? How about with that prepaid insurance? Prepaid, it's showing the values at $750 at the end of this period, but our ledger balance shows us at $900. So what do we have to do again here? You have to credit it too for the difference. So we subtract what? And we get what? $150. And we're going to credit the asset and debit the expense. Okay, and then what? We total it. What do we get? Is that right? Hopefully. Good. Excellent. So we move on. We're all good. Now we're going to move on to our balance sheet and our income statement. So we're going to bring these numbers over. Am I going to have anything up here in this top this top area of my income statement, my debits or credits? Am I going to have anything at the top where cash is, petty cash, etc.? No. Why not? Right. These are not income statement accounts. None of these are income statement accounts. Okay? These are all balance sheet accounts, so they're going to go in the balance sheet column. Right? So oh, okay. Go back over to 6-3. Now we're working on 6-3 and we see that we're going to bring over the balances from our trial balance to our balance sheet columns. And when we've got our supplies, we're going to take our debit balance and our trial balance of $690, subtract the credit of $440 to get our balance of $250. We're going to take the same thing with our prepaid insurance, $900 less the credit of $150. It's going to give us a balance of $750. And then we just bring the rest of the balances over because there are no adjustments for those. And then we bring all the balances of our income statement accounts over into the income statement column. Again, there's not going to be anything in these two columns over here where the balance sheet are for any of the income statement accounts. And then what's the profit for our company? $794. And we bring that, which is the difference between the $2270 and the $1476. So we have an income of $794. And then The difference between the balance sheet accounts 14,075 and 13,281, that should be the exact same number. Okay? If it's not, then you've done something wrong. Okay? And you bring the totals down and you're good to go. Kira, you have a question.
I have the 794 in both those right places, but I got it wrong.
Okay, I'll have to look at yours, okay? All right. All right, any questions on this? 9, okay. All right, let's wrap it up. We're good.